Hello, self, Ohana, Cosmos, Soul Dr. Nick here. It is February 28th, 2025, the last day of February, the last day before I embark on the breakthrough experience for the first time with Dr. John Demartini and Elena Demartini online. March 1st and 2nd, over 12-hour days. I'll be starting to tomorrow at like 5:30 a.m. my time because I'm Pacific Standard Time with, I think, 47 other participants. I think there's another 2 or 3 coaches, guides, however you want to call them, and we'll see how this unfolds. And today, waking up, it's been a challenge already. Waking up slow, waking up a little bit off, waking up eating a little bit of junk, waking up and then going back to rest, having some crazy dreams, and then waking up again feeling like, oh my God, I've already failed the day. And then noticing the sunshine outside and be like, okay, first let's get in the sunshine. And I'm hearing a little birdie. Oh, thanks, little birdie, for reminding me. Get out in the sunshine. And then second was I did my list of affirmations. And then third, I was practicing gratitude. And then fourth, and what I'm doing now is I'm reading some excerpts that I've highlighted from the book, The Breakthrough Experience by Dr. John Demartini that I read through. And I'm bringing these awarenesses back into my mind. These are my kind of Coles notes. And in so doing, practicing shifting my own consciousness, I feel that little bit of tightness between my shoulders and back. I feel the energy, the sluggishness. I feel that familiar part of myself that's like, all right, today's already going to be a write-off. Let's write it off. And a reminder for myself is, all right, so if today's already going to be a write-off, then anything that's not a complete write-off is already a win. It's already a huge win. And how do I practice being with this? And I told myself everything about this week is preparing for this weekend, because when Elena asked me, what's going to stop you? Not that anything's going to stop me from a dream. What could stop you? Or whose opinion are you afraid of? Part of what could stop me is a lot of days like today, where it's like, oh, there's so much to do, but I don't want to do any of it. And so how do I practice with these state changes? How do I practice with what's most important? And I've already created my life right now where I actually have the time to do these things. So my brain will want to go ahead and say, okay, in the future, you've got to fix this right away. You can't be in these states. And it's like, wait, part of me is purposely creating my life so I actually have time to be with these states right now. And I know that whatever comes my way, I can handle. And I'm reminding that almost ridiculous, but not ridiculous line Demartini says, like, you know, if you want to know how motivated you can be, just, I'll tell you, I'm going to take your children, take your family, and you won't get them back until you actually solve this problem you keep butting up against. How long do you think it'd take? And usually it'll take at most days, because it's like most things that I've been putting off would not take that long. But it feels insurmountable in a way. Even right now, changing my state feels insurmountable. So these are the practices I'm going through, because I don't want to keep, it doesn't matter, and that's the reminder, it doesn't matter how much money you have. These states of being can keep coming if I'm not figuring out the genius of everything's in perfect balance. And it's even the reminder of, you know, when I'm thinking of he's saying, like, you know, how positive and negative are balanced instantaneously. It's like, oh, the moments where I had people super criticizing me, there's someone else who was super praising me at the same time, or wanted to support me, or standing up for me, or standing up with me. And the challenges that come up are the ones that I can face. So I'm going to read a few of these things. I'm going to go through it. Again, this is not for public consumption. This isn't for you. This is for me. And I'm reminding myself of that because I forget. I lost my thread for a second there. I started going into, oh, I've got to go into a rant for you because there's a part of me that wants to perform and be told I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing. And part of my genius right now is that continuous push and pull, seeing it in real time. And by seeing it and allowing others to see it, they can see their own internal mind struggle as well. That's what's happened in my last few ceremonies. I've had a few clients where I'm like, as I'm working things out in real time, or people work with me, they can see me working it out and then seeing the point and path to a more enlightened phrase. And then we can all lean into that together. And then I can shut up and sit back and let them come up with their own enlightenment. So to be a genius, you must be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your dreams. But there's always a price. There are 3 forces that motivate people. The first 2 are avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. These are fueled by desperation. The third, inspiration, transcends the others. Being motivated by desperation won't guarantee you purposeful fulfillment, and when things get challenging, you're more than likely to give up. But inspiration knows the cost and challenges, as well as the rewards and benefits, and does it anyway. And that's a reminder to me, part of what I'm doing in the bigger scheme is inspiration, because I know there's challenges. I know there's challenges in working with others, challenges in starting something new, challenges in creating the framework, challenges in having a bigger vision that might be open to more criticism. And it's worth it. And today is one of the days I just feel a little bit tired. I'm like, why can't it just be easy? Why can't it just be easy? A genius is one who sees the guiding light of their soul, listens to the internal message, and obeys. To be a genius, you must be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your dreams. Okay. That's what I just read. Everything serves, and the bigger the crisis, the larger the blessing. Everything serves, and the bigger the crisis, the larger the blessing. That night I went home and cried, not from sorrow that I didn't get to talk, but sorrow that I had let 6 weeks of my life go by in paralyzing anxiety over something that never even occurred. Have you ever perceived misery and anxiety over something that turned out to be nothing? At that moment, I made a commitment. I said to myself, I will do whatever it takes, travel whatever distance, and pay whatever price to master this thing called speaking. The next day, I signed up for every council in school. I took on every opportunity to speak because I was determined to master it. Wow. 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 Okay. Yeah. Just start telling people that you're an international professional speaker. Just start telling people that you're an international professional speaker. So part of this is just to start telling people who I believe or want myself to be. I'm a facilitator of facilitators. I'm a leader of leaders. I'm a guider of guides. They're not looking for more information. They have enough of their own. They're looking for reflections, for presence, for being. And that's what I love doing. That's me. I spend so much time even just doing my own mirror work, shining up my own ability to be a mirror. How could I not be a better mirror for others then? And in the midst of all this, there will be some pearls, some wisdoms that come out. That's inevitable. And the reflection is, this isn't my own personal wisdom. This is our co-created collective wisdom that we get to create together, especially when we're in the presence of each other. And again, how do I be with the egos? How do I be with the safety? And in the midst of all that, that practice of being with, because I've been with best-selling authors, I've been with leaders, CEOs, I've been with facilitators, guides, medicine people, is everyone is welcome. Everyone feels safe. All of these are just extra challenges that I'm willing to bring on because they're fun. Okay. The masses wait to see it to believe it, but the master believes it and then sees it. The masses wait to see it to believe it, but the master believes it and then sees it. I have a clear vision, and whenever and wherever I speak, I stay fully present and inspired. I have a clear vision, and whenever and wherever I speak, I stay fully present and inspired. You keep projecting artificial limits onto a successful strategy for building dreams. What I'm telling you is that if you truly become crystal clear on how you would love your life, to such a degree that you can't see anything but that, it is almost impossible for you not to get it. Absolute clarity adds vitality and enthusiasm to your actions. If you get absolutely crystal clear on exactly what you would love, and you can't see anything but that, it's almost impossible for you not to get it. If you can say, I am worth it, I deserve to have my dreams, I deserve to take the time to focus on the infinite details to create them. I have a human will, and I'll align it with divine will, and allow it to fill me and inspire me to write out each dream in a specific fashion. And then you do it, then it's yours. The minute you truly commit to your dream, watch the universe immediately bring you the sustenance into the challenges and the challenges necessary to fulfill it. Positive or negative, supportive or challenging, peaceful or warlike, cooperative or competitive, pleasurable or painful, no matter what happens, if you can see how it's serving you, how can you not succeed? And that's the law that came up in The Alchemist as well. The whole universe conspires. Once you funny enough, on this February day, really be in a t-shirt, which is amazing. Living an inspired life requires mastering some skills, one of which is the ability to ask yourself inspirational, meaningful questions. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. How can I do what I love and be magnificently paid for it? How can I do what I love and be magnificently paid for it? The second secret to an inspired life is the law of greatest efficiency. This law tells us that anyone or anything that doesn't fulfill its purpose automatically decays. The matter that's utilized in this universe gets dissipated and redistributed to those who are willing to fulfill their divine design. That which becomes extinct gives rise to that which is ever greater. So it's vital to be clear about your purpose. That's why I say there's nothing wrong with retirement, as long as it doesn't get in the way of your work. Because the second you stop growing, you automatically undergo entropy. But even when you're not inspired and consciously following your mission, you still play a part in the divine order. There's nothing wrong if you feel like you're off purpose. Just know that your resources, energy, and life will be given to somebody else who is inspired and feeling purposeful. Here's one final secret. The purpose of the breakthrough experience, and probably why you were drawn to it, is to offer you a more efficient way to listen to your own heart and soul, the inner wisdom that is infinitely greater than any external teaching. It is the true teacher, and when you have access to it, you begin to pay more attention to its wise guidance. When you glimpse an understanding of the universal laws and divine order, when you awaken your sense of gratitude for the marvelous gifts of life, you become inspired to live the dream you were created to fulfill. Right now, it's the practice of creating a life I would love, and I'm sitting being with this meditation. What I would love to create in my life, imagine every detail, see the life exactly where I'd love to be. And for one, this is part of it. Like, I'm going to get my So what would I love? Part of it is this rooftop balcony, having access to the sunshine like this all the time, having the ability to be loud and noisy and secluded and private at the same time. Oh, yeah, I've lost my microphone, haven't I? Sorry about that. That would have sucked if I lost it for a long period of time. And apologies for all the noise right now, but again, this is for me. So I'll probably lose people with that, and that's probably part of the meaning and message, because this is me talking about my dream life. So living in the homes around the world, and wherever we are, having access to this privacy, this balcony, this fresh air, this goodness, this light. Having the time to meditate, to actually be with, to contemplate. Noticing when I'm trying to rush or stuff life in. And if I choose differently, wow, that must mean I'm really enjoying it, because part of it is I enjoy my own time so much, I can recognize that it takes something special to take over that. And part of it is I recognize I enjoy my family so much that I always remind myself, okay, it's a trade-off in the presence. And that's part of my life. Having parts that I enjoy so friggin' much that I'm actually choosing what is the trade-off in each moment. What is the other choice that I'm wanting to make? What is the other, I would love to do that. Like I would love to right now go to this scent and light and meeting of people event, and I would love to have these amazing dinners. So I'm imagining a life of amazing food and ease and having a fridge full of stuff that I want to do something with all the time. I'm imagining my life. I'm just trying to dream, and I'm noticing the tension I get in the dreaming, like dreaming of having a beautiful, clean, decluttered room to do work, clean and decluttered car to step into whenever I want to go somewhere. And then knowing that I have days every month which are already scheduled, sessions every month where I'm actually delivering some divine inspired work, breath, medicine, being with, presence, being sought after, and then creating it in a way where it's accessible as well, where it's accessible. Notice that was funny that came up, because right now I have a story in my head that my work is inaccessible. And what I'm realizing is it's not what I think is making it inaccessible. Yes, the price tag is making it inaccessible for some that are currently in my life and how I present it. But it's not inaccessible in the sense that what we're creating is not inaccessible for those who actually want to, desire to, love to choose it. Just noticing all the in the way things right now. Ugh, ugh, ugh. And how would I dream of this life, right? Dreaming of this life is being able to actually rest and digest and having places to rest. Not just the bedroom, but also probably some kind of bed-like material somewhere, right? Sleeping with the family and then sleeping without the family too. Having places for deep dives for myself. Deep dives into the spirit of the cosmos. Deep dives into my own consciousness. So much gratitude. Time for gratitude. Time for technology. And over again, the continuous noticing. Oh, wait, I'm stuck in that loop. I was and still am a little bit stuck in the loop of what other technologies I want to have around me. Stuck in the loop of how am I being unclear in how I reply to people. Kind of wishy-washy. Oh yeah, I guess I would love to see you too, maybe. Okay. So I'm going to keep going here because part of me is missing out the thread right now. So take at least one action step. So I'm taking a bunch by going through this breakthrough experience. So give myself some slack, especially today. Let's rest up some. Whenever I can, let's rest up some. Keep records of all the goal-aligned events that occur. And yeah, acknowledge them. Oh my God, like the unconventional this week, the meetings that we've had, the things that have not broken down even, right? Like the drives home that have been safe even in the immense rain. Refining this master life planning over and over again, taking a look at that. I see my dreams with crystal clarity. I am worthy of having my dreams come true. The pain of regret outweighs the pain of discipline. A genius listens to the guidance of the soul and obeys. I'm a genius and I apply my wisdom. I do what I love and I love what I do. Mandala. A balanced and harmonious symbol, drawing or image of universal wholeness. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. I am a person on a quest to study universal laws as they relate to mind, body, and spirit, particularly in relation to health. I've dedicated my life to it, and I've learned on that journey that whatever I say to you is what I'm working on in myself. I'm honored to have someone like you here so I can learn and grow. I'm a person on a quest to study universal laws as they relate to mind, body, and spirit, particularly in relation to health. I've dedicated my life to it, and I've learned that on that journey that whatever I say to you is what I'm working on in myself. I'm honored to have someone like you here so I can learn and grow. Out of the entire class, the man who was most resentful became the most present. That angry man probably contributed more to me than anyone else there. He gave me the greatest gift, to know that no matter what he said about me, I could love myself. Is that a gift? To have people just attack the hell out of you? You know that it's all true in one form or another, and find out that you can still love yourself for it? Yes. That's the gift of the quantum collapse process. That's part of what I've realized recently with some friends, is that feeling attacked, misunderstood, blamed, and it's a gift to be able to be with that and just be with it. Do I have to reply? Do I have to fix anything? No. If they didn't ask for anything, why reply? What is the purpose? And then if they said they're going to send you something and they don't, I can also let that go too. There's other things for me to focus on, the big prison. We've all been in prison in some form, imprisoned by fear, guilt, doubt, uncertainty, and lack of clarity. I'm a human being. I have every trait in perfect balance, and they all serve. Whatever I see is me. Whatever appears, I look for the other side and am free. I take no credit and take no blame. This, too, is a lesson in love. Thank you for my skills and opportunities to participate in this world. If God is omnipotent, then every occurrence, including every human action, every human thought, and every human feeling and aspiration, is also his work. Albert Einstein. Thank you. Thank you for this reminder. The world is bigger than us and oscillates on a grand scale, but most people don't look at lengthy enough time frames to become aware of it. They misinterpret the oscillations as impending doom and try to fix what isn't broken. They try to balance what is already perfect. It's all perfectly natural, but we somehow think it's a mistake and our fault. The things we think are destroyed are now in frequency that we've tuned out of. The things we think are created have come into a frequency that we're tuned into, but there's actually no creation or destruction, just change in form. Bereavement, grief, and remorse are simply forms of uncommunicated love and gratitude. People feel sorrow not because someone has died, but because they didn't express their love when they had the chance. Life is too precious to spend on illusions of loss and death. Do not fall into the illusion of what some people call compassion by supporting the myth of loss. Care enough about them to find the equilibrium and have them have communion of spirit with their loved ones. In so doing, you will illuminate them. If someone is having their sex in the virtual rather than the physical world, it's because they have a whole bunch of negatives attached to the physical form. It means I have to make a commitment. It takes me away from my business. I have to make decisions with somebody else. I have to spend my money. It can be messy and disruptive, emotionally painful, and Where have we come from? Where are we going? Why are we here? Who are we? Where have we come from? Where are we going? Why are we here? Who are we? I am. I am. Anything that's after I am not. And reminding myself, often I think I want things, and I do, but there's a part of it I also don't want right now. And part of it is sometimes like, oh, I want more time with my family. Oh, I don't because I want to do these other things. Oh, I want more time in my business. Oh, I don't because I'm actually scared. It's more time to be scared of what's not possible, what I've screwed up, all the failures, all the criticisms, all the stories that are there as well. So it's balancing those pieces and noticing that they're there. Noticing, oh, there's a story of what I haven't done. Whatever I have done or haven't done, I'm worthy of love. And then you meet a sage, a wise being with a universal perspective. And what does he talk about? Eternity. He doesn't think in terms of mortal time and space. He thinks about forever. And part of me has gotten to that point more now. I'm like looking at all these oscillations, realizing this is just a blip. This is just a blip. To remind myself not to take it so seriously, not to avoid. It doesn't mean to abdicate the throne, to be like, oh, nothing matters. All of this actually matters, but it matters differently than my mind thinks. Like right now up here on this balcony doing this work, it matters because my being will impact everyone else. But what I specifically do, or anything else, doesn't actually matter. Which is a reminder I'm doing this for me, not for you. And I keep saying that because I'm breaking my own fourth wall here. Part of it is, in life, how do I already have a fourth wall all the time, even without the camera recording? Just gonna move this a little bit over to be out of the shade again. That's part of it. It's like, how do I actually realize? Part of me believes I'm on the Truman Show, everyone's watching, and then I'm guilting, shaming myself and feeling all these things. The magnitude of space, how big your vision is, and time, how far you can see the future, and how much patience you have, determines the level of conscious evolution you obtain. When you're 70 years old, a year is no big deal, is it? It's like a day, but to a child, one day seems like a year. Such a reminder for me, like, talking about, oh, you'll get this tomorrow to my little one. It doesn't make sense sometimes. It's like, that's like the hardest thing for me to hear. Son, don't you realize what you have? Your mother and I have been married for 32 years and we never got to go on a honeymoon. And you're going to Hawaii, the dream place we always wanted to see. You have a bigger home and more cars right now than we have after all that time. We only had gold bands. I never got to give your mom a diamond until I was in business for 25 years. You already have a beautiful son who's healthy. You have a great office that you're expanding. At least you've made money to pay taxes on. You're hiring and employing people, and you have one of the fastest growing practices in Texas. You're marrying someone you love and going on a dream trip and growing your business. You're doing more in your first year than I did in 32 years. That doesn't sound like stressings. To me, son, it sounds like blessings. I wish I was in that boat. Such a great reminder from a dad. The bigger the pain, the bigger the pleasure that comes with it. We're going to get both no matter what we do, so it might as well be in the pursuit of our dreams. Every time we fail to see the divine order, we age. I'm also convinced that every time we see the divine order, we become present and space and time dissolve. We grow through ever greater spheres of influence and outreach, and we cannot rule or govern that which we haven't transcended. To transcend it is to master. And mastery is based upon loving and understanding the duality within any concentric sphere. I believe that if we want to make a difference in ourselves, we must have a vision that is at least as big as our family. To make a difference in our family, we must have a vision as big as our city. We must have a vision as big as a state to make a difference in our city, and a vision as big as the nation to make a difference in our state. We must have a vision as big as the globe to make a difference in our nation, and it takes an astronomical vision to make a global difference. So I'm still working on the bigger and the bigger and the bigger visions, and that's okay. Let's not rush ourselves. Let's play with this current vision. Sometimes I want to be there already. I'm like, I want to make that kind of impact, and do I? No. Let's play with this, especially at this stage of life, especially this stage where I might be inviting more life into it, more family into it. One answer to the four great questions is that we are stars, but love and light are equally true answers. The universe is an infinite school of unending spiritual light. We're here to learn, teach, and become our true nature, love and light. And those closest to us are our greatest teachers and students in this school of life. People that died. Evo. Evo was organized, he was thoughtful, he was caring. He cared about people that I cared about, even when I wasn't there. He was prepared. He was smart, but he also didn't think too highly of himself. What were the new forms of these specific traits or aspects? It was after his death that I found some new people. Like, it broke up Janice, Kimber, and myself. And then Denise came in, and Kevin came in. And yeah, Kevin and Denise had just split up, and Evo and Kimber just gotten together. That would have actually shrunken our circle in a way, or my idea of the circle in a way, probably. Instead, I got a new roommate that I could actually live with, and then I met Lily as well and did yoga with her, and yeah, there were other possibilities that opened up. I look at great spans of time and see great order. In love, there is no loss. There is a vast intelligence running the world, and it is in order. Death is an illusion. Life just changes form. I have a great vision, and money flows in to help me fulfill it. There's nothing to fix, but much to love. Someday, after we have mastered the winds, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we will harness for God the energies of love. And then, for the second time in the history of the world, man will have discovered fire. The purpose of marriage is to teach people how to fully love themselves, their owned and disowned parts. Love is the perfect equilibrium of pain and pleasure, support and challenge, nice and mean, pleasant and unpleasant, like and dislike. In any relationship, except during moments of presence and unconditional love, you'll oscillate between liking and disliking the person as you fluctuate around the center point of love. Love is not a static state that we reach and then stop. It is a constantly growing and expanding force. Both sides, pleasure and pain, make up the dynamic called love. If you have a fantasy that love is only supposed to be one-sided, you'll reject half of love and won't embrace the whole experience. In fact, physical lovemaking is actually pushing someone away half the time and wanting them to come close the other half. It involves a pendulous motion of away, close, away, close, away, close, gradually increasing in speed until you climax. Imagine if it only consisted of pushing or pulling away. Nothing would happen. You'd be stuck. Imagine if you were dating someone or married to someone who always said, "I think you're wonderful, you're always right, you're unbeatable the way you are." If all they did was support you, you'd do whatever you could do to confront and challenge them. In fact, Mr. and Mrs. Nice automatically develops the doormat syndrome. People walk all over them until they say, "Hey, I'm worthwhile too. I'm not going to keep exaggerating your worth." Someone who receives only support will eventually say, "This isn't working. I need somebody who can stand up to me. I want some challenge." Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. When you're in conflict, just ask yourself, am I giving too much or too little space, time, energy, or matter here? When you find out which one it is and provide it, the argument will stop. It's surprisingly simple. Sometimes all somebody wants is to be left alone. If you leave them be, 10 minutes later they can come in and hug you and want to be with you. Care enough to give them the space they need, and you'll get love in return. Sometimes they want you in their space, and when you're willing to just stop and be with them, the problem disappears. A moment of presence is more powerful than hours of impatient half attention. Love is a chargeless field, unlimited or infinite. Give space and you get love. Give love and you get space. Try it and see. Most people live in the myth that to love someone is to never disappoint, upset, or hurt them. Do you know that the one you love is the one you initiate the feelings of hurt in half the time? I'm redefining love. Most people think it's only the nice side and hate the mean side, but that's not true. When you love someone, you're the nicest and the meanest to them. You support and challenge. You're pleasant and unpleasant. You lift them up and put them down. You do things for them and ignore them. Those are the two sides of love. Love does not consist in gazing at each other, but in looking together at the same direction. The next time someone does something that really pushes your buttons, instead of immediately reacting, stop. Give yourself 1 minute to consider and think, how do I do that, either identically or in my own form? How does it serve others that I behave in this way? How does it serve me that they're doing it now? What part did I play to make this happen? Pause. Happiness and sadness are the two sides of fulfillment. I speak from my heart and people listen. If two people are exactly the same, one of them isn't necessary. Put them on a pedestal, put them in the pit. Love them for who they are, and they become who you love. There is nothing but love, and all else is illusion. God is a metaphor for a mystery that absolutely transcends all human categories of thought, including being and non-being. Divinity is not some authoritarian personality from theological or religious teachings. The root of the word divine means to shine, and as we shine, illuminate, and become brilliant, we approach divinity. So I'm feeling the fatigue as I'm reading this and taking a second just to close my eyes and be with the sun, be with the heat, and see, is it important for me to continue on, or is it important just to rest? To rest and to breathe, to stretch and to notice. Yeah, I think it's important to rest a little bit. At this point, it's like, what if some amazing insight comes out and everyone else misses it? And then I get to remind myself again, I'm doing this for myself, not for everyone else. The mirror work is for me. And sometimes I can forget. And that's where I lose track of life, when I do it for someone else. And that's the part I keep reminding myself and others. I want to be extremely, utterly selfish in a way. Like, that whole idea of narcissism really starts to make me laugh again. How do we not see other people's values? How have I been ignoring mine so much that I want to point fingers at someone else and say, you're looking at your own values too much and actually living them, or judging you and your values without even actually taking the time? Because how much of it, when I look at, oh man, what are my dreams? How do I get clear on it? Am I unclear? And if I'm unclear and I spend all this time on my dreams, what has me judging someone else who's a single parent, who's got all these, extra things in their life, extra, as we like to say, and say, how come you can't figure it out? Whether they have money or don't have money, whether they have things or don't have things. And I love that. I was listening and watching the show Reacher last night, and they're like, most people who are criminals start before they're 40, before they have something to lose, before they have family, kids, things like that. And it's only because they have already started that they continue that afterwards. And I can see that more now. Like right now, part of it's harder to start when I'm starting. That's why some of the starting happened before our son was born. The starting of looking at life differently. Because otherwise, it's a lot harder to start taking a look at life differently, and how to acknowledge those that do. I've had a number of people who have done that. And check out again the people who have reached out. So there's a few messages to leave for others. There's a few things to contemplate and consider. And let's go into the remembrance of it all. Ciao for now.